Hello.
Oh, I'm not ready.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to
The Movie Girls. Joel said we say hello too loud in the beginning, and like he's not wrong, but I think it was definitely rude to point out.
Yeah, I was better off not knowing that, Joel.
Yeah, I mean we knew it in our hearts, but like
I was a better person before you told me.
Yeah, so we'll try and calm ourselves down this time.
It's hard.
We've tried it before. I mean, this is episode 21, and we still don't know how to say hello without hurting everyone's eardrums. It's probably why no one listens.
We get so loud and excited all the time.
Because if we're like this, it's
in any
boring.
situation.
Tiffy, you really have to lower your voice.
Do I?
You should really calm down.
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just calm down.
So this week on the Movie Girls...
Oh, I hate when people tell me to calm down.
I know, that's why I said it. Alright, fuck that shit. Normal volume is back in play.
Hello. So when this episode comes out, guess what day it is?
Spooky Halloween!
Bing bong! Trick or treat!
Trick or treat!
Smell my feet.
Give me something good to eat.
Not too big.
Not too small.
Joel?
Just the size of Montreal.
What was my point? Oh, so we thought, what movie will we do for Halloween? It was hard.
We're gonna do
Halloween!
The original, which neither of us have seen before.
No, nobody's seen
We haven't seen it.
Haven't seen any of
It's
them.
really spooky, and I'm not excited because it's gonna be scary.
It's not going to be scary.
No, it is though.
It's from 1978. How
No, I
scary
know.
can it be?
But when I think, because I actually did research for once, yeah, he said he was what's his name?
John Carpenter?
The writer director. I knew that. I wrote it down. Shh, how dare you, audience? I knew. He said because he has a real thing for old school audio dramas, and so he had that in mind when he was writing it. So that's why there's spooky scares every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes for an hour and a half.
I'm excited.
So,
how come you've never seen this movie?
because it's a scary movie. Actually, I'm not sure. Because I went through a real horror movie phase in high school, me and Tennille. And we'd rent a whole bunch of Harry
Harry
scary
Potter.
and horror. So I said Harry movies all the time. That was the 7 for 7 we would do. And we'd stay up all night watching scary movies. We never did watch this one, which is kind of odd. Anyway, how come you never watched it?
I don't know. Because it was so... I don't know. Because it was just, like, done every year, and I was just like, can we just not? I'm just not interested in Michael Myers.
Monsieur Myers.
Monsieur Myers.
But I guess this is the year that we are interested.
Let me do the little synopsis, because I wrote it. Even though you chose it, but you can't choose 2 movies in a row. It's against the rules.
You were the one who told me it.
Yeah, but you did the cocktail. You thought you were going to do the whole intro yourself?
No. I don't want to.
Good.
Okay.
This movie's in 1978, so last week we did a movie from 1979.
Ooh.
And then next week we'll do one from 1977. Nope.
Anyway, carry on.
Directed, as you said, by John Carpenter, and co-written by Deborah Hill, his GF at the time.
Oh, what were they? GFBF?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I knew that.
GF plus BF.
Equals heart shape.
So this movie tells the story of psychopathic. Just didn't seem like a word as I was reading it. I was like, did I make that up? Is that a word? Psychopathic? Psychopath is a word.
It is now.
Psychopathic serial killer Michael Myers, who was committed to a sanitarium for murdering his teenage sister.
Sanatorium.
I think so too, but I wrote sanitarium.
I love it. It's like planetarium.
He was committed to a planetarium.
But it was a very clean planetarium.
Yeah, because he murdered his sister on Halloween night. 15 years later, he escapes and returns to his hometown where he stalks a female babysitter and her friends while under pursuit of his psychiatrist.
I thought you said socks. Like old school Punch. It just socks a babysitter
He just
right in the
stalks a
gizzard.
babysitter really randomly. No, okay. The serial killer. No, this guy, is he a serial killer? Like, how many people did he kill before his sister?
What?
Okay, this guy snaps. He kills his sister. He gets sent to a crazy mental hospital, and he escapes. And then, for some reason, decides to stalk this chick. And his psychiatrist is also trying to find him.
Amazing. I like it. This is gonna be
I've never seen this
fun.
movie.
Me neither.
Um,
That's fine.
thanks. Tell us what we're drinking. I'm so thirsty.
Oh, I had budget facts.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, budget facts.
Fuck, I'll do it later. Who gives a
300,000.
shit? Yeah, well, then it got bumped to 325,000 in order to pay for the actor who plays the psychiatrist.
Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, so they had to pay him 25,000 for 5 days worth of work to get him.
Well, because, like, isn't the guy that budgeted this movie, he just, like, wanted to make a scary movie, and so he just, like, he's like, here's $300,000. Make this movie.
Well, like, when John Carpenter was pitching it to him, he was currently working on whatever movies that were $300,000 a day. So when John Carpenter's like, well, no, I want my $300,000, like, total. He's like, oh, done. Like, no problem.
Easy
He's like,
peasy.
that is 1 day's worth of work here. So, yeah, if you want to make a whole movie, go for it. So he's like, great. But yeah, he was $325,000 for a budget, and its overall gross was $47 million. So it's, as of 2008 was the fact, it was the most successful independent film ever.
Yeah, I read
Like,
that it
that's
made
insane.
60 to 70 million, like, total.
Yeah. Well, horror movies are actually the best for profit, still. Because their budgets are always really low. Because nobody also expects huge things. And you don't want a bunch of effects. It's all about jump scares and stuff. And movies like Halloween, they all take place over 1 day or 2 days. The Cocktail. So I made a bloody sangria. I added the word bloody. I just Googled bloody, or I Pinterest searched bloody cocktails or scary cocktails. This one looks spooky scary.
Yeah.
So it's, what I have here. It has red wine. I chose the Apothic Dark.
Because you had it in your cupboard gathering dust?
No, I already used that one last week for the stew.
Oh, isn't that the one that oh yeah, because I bought it.
Yeah, no, and then and then I just bought it again for this. Was like, all I used was like a cup out of that one, so it was a total waste. I should have saved it for the fucking sangria. So I just bought that again.
Wait, how much did you use in the stew?
No, we drank some.
And then we drank
Oh.
it because we drank it the other night when we had dinner because I didn't want to waste it. Cause we
Teal
had
claims I
burritos.
bought this red wine,
She
which I have no
did.
memory of because I don't even drink red wine.
Yeah, but, like,
so why did I
Tiff,
buy it?
honey,
and she's just had it
Do you
sitting in
really
her
remember
cupboard.
all the things you do all the time?
Never.
You know I have a
I remember
memory
any
for
things I do
everything.
any of the time.
See, I know that's why I'm saying I remember all the things. Anyway, it's
Anyway.
Apothic Dark because it had notes of like its notes were all like dark berries and dark fruits and stuff, so it was all nice and I want to say robust, but I don't really know what I'm
Notes
talking
of
about.
murder.
Notes of murder
And umami.
and umami. Unagi. And then it has it's supposed to be Cointreau, but I wasn't buying that shit, so I used triple sec because it's basically the
What's
same
Cointreau?
thing. I don't know, some sort of orange liqueur, but so is triple sec, so whatever. I'm not sure what that is. Is that some dinner?
Probably.
Gross. Triple
That sounds
sec.
good.
And then also, shit, what else did I put in there? Oh, pomegranate juice.
Did you put in some blood orange? Pellegrino?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes. This is the worst description of a cocktail.
It's better than my synopsis.
Red wine, pomegranate juice, triple sec, and then a bunch of berries, some pomegranate arils, and then I let it just kind of hang out there for a couple hours. And then, and then I had extra pomegranate juice left over, so I made ice cubes with pomegranate juice. There's pomegranate juice, ice cubes, so that as it melts, it gets pomegranate-ier. And then I topped it with blood orange San Pellegrino because we couldn't find any blood oranges at the store, so Tiffy was smart and got a can of blood orange
Yeah,
San
I don't think
Pellegrino.
they're in season.
I guess not, yeah. It says it's topped with sparkling water, but, you know, why have water when you could have pop, I guess. I'm not sure. So, cheers to spooky scary movies. I'm gonna cry. Okay.
That's so good.
Ooh, Tiffy likes.
I like it a lot. I'm gonna rate that a 10 out of 10.
I don't know why I would have bought red wine. I hate red wine. Mm-hmm.
I hate red wine, but I like it when you throw a
Mix with
shit ton
shit.
of berries
Yeah.
and sugar.
Everyone loves berries and sugar. Delicious. Yeah, that's actually quite nice.
That's so good.
It's
We're
dark.
gonna
Oh,
get
sorry,
lit tonight.
And also, it's a pitcher, so you have to drink more.
Tastes like juice.
It's wine with juice.
It's really good. It's an adult Capri Sun.
On that note, let's watch the movie.
Finally.
Okay, so we're back now. So most importantly, who won/lost the spook total thing? Tiff wrote down every time that anybody got spooked with spookiness, and I don't know, what are the results?
Jill was scared one time, and we were both scared 3 times.
Is that it?
That's
What
it.
did I say? Yeah.
Yeah, I kept expecting Teal to be scared more often, but
too.
she denied it.
I did. It actually was not that scary.
Of course it wasn't that scary. I don't know anybody was expecting it. It's a John Carpenter film.
Well, I don't know.
1978. The blood looks like... food coloring and water. Stupid.
It's really harsh.
I hate fake blood. It's...
all the blood is fake.
Well, all blood's fake. I don't mean I prefer it to be real blood, but I want it to look like real blood.
I guess.
And it just really takes me out of it.
Well, yeah, like the blood looked real when it was happening, except...
Did it?
Well, like when it was on her hand and stuff, like it looked fairly bloodish. But like when the girl gets murdered in the first part, yeah, that just looked like old dried water color. Yeah, it didn't look like blood. It looked like blood on her hands at the end. Say no?
Yeah, that was better.
I think so.
I think it was a small budget.
It's right.
Couldn't afford corn syrup.
Corn syrup.
Isn't that what they used to make
yeah.
realistic looking blood?
Yeah. What are your thoughts right immediately after? Tiff, did you
What are your thoughts right immediately after?
Oddly enough, I actually really liked it.
Really?
I thought it was very good.
Oh.
I appreciate, like, it's not scary whatsoever, because it's...
Hey, we had 3 jump scares each.
3 jump scares
Sometimes
each.
at different times. So.
That's true. We actually didn't all have the same jump. There's one I think we all got on the same one. I appreciated it. Like, the artistry in the filmmaking is very good. Like, the use of the music and... it was just really well done. And it's not scary because this is from 40 years ago. So it's not really our... We're kind of desensitized, I think, for what we watch nowadays and what horror looks like for us. Mm-hmm. But in 78, they hadn't really had the things that we had. Like, this is the most... It's compared most to Psycho. In not like in story or whatever, but in the like how it uses music and suspense to be terrifying than gore and all the jump scares. There actually wasn't that many jump scares, but it's just that suspense of the music, and it was really neat. I liked the point of view, like the how they shot it and what angles they shot it from, and how we could see him moving a lot but they couldn't, which was also creepy. Like, it wasn't... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I interrupted you. You go.
No, it's fine. I just kept going.
I think we owe a lot of that to John Carpenter, how he makes movies, and I think that kind of is like a testament to his skills that he could do that on such a small budget and still create a movie that was pretty successful for its time.
Yeah.
Even more so now.
Yeah.
And he's a very talented filmmaker.
I mean, it's this huge franchise, and yeah, it, like, as I'm, like, not looking at it from any sort of artistic perspective, no, it's not a very good movie. It's not scary. Some of the acting is kind of atrocious.
Totally.
It's bad. But...
Come on.
Yeah, it's really rough. But I guess as a piece of kind of art from its time, it was really interesting. I liked a lot of the things about it, and you can see where we get a lot of filmmaking that... like pieces that we use now come from this, which is, I don't know, you kind of lose that a little bit. So no, it was not scary. It wasn't like a good movie, but I did enjoy it. You?
It was fun. It was exactly what I expected. No more, no less, no surprises. It was just...
I thought it was going to be
and
really
it was
scary,
fine.
and it really was. I don't know. I don't know.
I wonder what it would have been like to watch the movie in the theater when it was first released and what your reaction to it might have been.
I'm sure that would have been terrifying.
Yeah.
Not having all the things we've watched for scary movies. Like, we've got all those, ghost movies and paranormal activities and all that shit, which wasn't a thing. So our definition of a horror movie is so much different now. And but seeing that in the 70s, like, that'd be really scary.
Yeah.
That music and the suspense that it builds. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Did you see that The Mask? Joel, I don't know if you know this. Teal probably knows it.
I did.
It was a Captain Kirk mask, so it was like William Shatner's face, and they just painted it white and cut out the eyes and like messed up the hair. So the entire time I was just thinking about William Shatner. Whenever it showed his face, I was trying to see it.
Yeah, I like that it's Captain Kirk. That was adorable. I like it.
That's my favorite, fact. Fun fact.
That is a good fun. I did also write down that fun.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Well,
I was like, I gotta get to it.
I'd heard it before, but I couldn't remember who I knew it was a face of somebody.
Right.
But I couldn't remember. I thought it was like Clinton or something. No, it wasn't Clinton.
Right.
At the right time. But like, I couldn't remember who it was. I thought it was a president
Nixon
or something.
maybe.
Yeah. But I knew it was something that was kind of funny. But then it was Kirk, which is fantastic.
It's the funniest.
It's the best choice. I don't really. That's kind of what most of my fun facts. We actually mentioned all my fun facts.
Oh. During the podcast or during the actual movie?
During the podcast.
Oh.
Well, because I didn't write down a whole lot of ones that were related. Anyway. Well, I had like a quote from him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you saw because it's in like every article about this thing. Did you write it down?
I don't know. I don't know what your
quote
is.
He said, John Carpenter.
Jonathan Carpenter. Jean-Luc Carpenter. Sorry.
Ugh, terrible.
Tabernacle.
Oh, goodness. John Carpenter. Himself dismisses the notion that Halloween, the movie, is a morality play, regarding it as merely a horror movie. According to Carpenter, critics, and he quotes, completely missed the point there. The one girl who is the most sexually uptight just keeps stabbing this guy with a long knife. She's the most sexually frustrated. She's the one that's killed him. Not because she's a virgin, but because all that sexually repressed energy starts coming out. She uses all these phallic symbols on the guy. She said in relation to people talking about the virgin as the only one that made it because she's pure and virginal,
right.
And it's all that. He's like, no, it's just because they're all distracted by having sex all the time. And she's not having any sex, she's actually paying attention.
Yeah.
Because she's the only one that's actually looking around because she's not distracted by penis.
Yeah. Penis and titties.
Tits and peen.
No, I actually didn't read that quote.
Oh, really?
I read like that. What do I have here? Some critics suggested that Halloween may encourage sadism. And I'm having a lot of trouble talking today.
Words are hard.
Halloween may encourage sadism and misogyny by audiences identifying with its villain. Other critics suggested that the film is a social critique of the immorality of youth and teenagers in 1970s America.
Mm-hmm.
With many of Meyer's victims being sexually promiscuous and substance abusers, which I mean, she smoked pot too.
She did, it's true.
While the heroine is depicted as innocent and pure, hence her survival. But yeah, Carpenter dismissed.
He's like, no.
That analysis. Because that always happens, right? People are going to like look very, very deeply into films for meaning and glean all these things. But it's like, well, a lot of the times the writers probably just set out to make an enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
And they weren't like, well, this is going to be the subtext here.
Yeah.
That's what this is going to mean, but you really have to analyze it to figure that one out. Like, nobody's making a movie that way, and if you did, it'd probably be a shitty movie, to be honest with you, you know what I mean? As far as, like, a horror movie goes.
Yeah. Well, like, the subtext is not that she's pure and therefore wins. It's no, she just isn't getting laid and therefore has attention to pay to
100% true, yeah.
That's true, though,
it's
right?
Exactly
Everyone's,
right.
like, thinking about getting laid,
the rest
and
just
she's
care
not,
about having
so.
sex and, like, I'm just gonna drop this kid off with my friends so I can, like, fuck my boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
She didn't have anyone to bone and therefore was paying attention and didn't get murdered. I mean, she almost got murdered, but she didn't.
She almost got murdered multiple times.
Several times. And she, like, was thrown over the stairs. That should have done some damage.
Yeah, shit.
Not just down the stairs, like, over the balcony.
Stairs. Oh.
And just a straight drop down onto stairs. Yeah. My goodness.
Everyone in this film is indestructible, except for those who...
Except for everyone that died. Everyone's indestructible except for the big body count.
Yeah, they died pretty easily, actually.
They did. Yeah. Well, and so many of the things were just so unrealistic. Maybe that's what, too. We watch so many true crime shows and all that stuff that we kind of know what it looks like when you're strangled.
Well, horror movies are very realistic today.
They really are. So when you're getting strangled in the back of a car, and the only death I think that was the most realistic is when she gets with the phone cord. That one was somewhat more, but like he just one-handed strangled her and she couldn't do anything.
And she was making noise the whole time and breathing and screaming, so it's like she wasn't actually.
Yeah. And like the guy with the knife, he stabs him and dies instantly, which is not how that happens.
Yeah.
And then also is held up with a knife partially impaled on him. That was, yeah.
It was actually kind of cool to watch this, and then I was thinking about the movie Scream and all of the things that Scream obviously is taken from a lot of other movies, but especially this one.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, I thought.
Well, yeah, because, like, I've seen Scream
Yeah.
several times, but I've never seen this one. And I've seen a lot of old horror, but I've never seen this series. I've actually never seen the, like, the Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger ones either. Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't like mainstream horror movies a lot of the time, so I just kind of avoid it.
I know, I like the
don't know.
weird, obscure ones. They're not even obscure, because that sounds so, like,
Well, I think like
hipster.
an obvious villain is kind of boring to me for some reason. I like more of like a hidden surprise mystery villain. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Do you have fun facts? You have a whole many notes.
I don't have fun facts. I just have like facts.
Actual facts. I have a fun fact about Jamie Lee Curtis I didn't know.
Yeah, go for it.
I didn't know that through her husband, she actually has a formal English title.
Oh.
She's Lady Hayden Guest of Sailing Essex. Sailing? I don't know. But she's Lady Hayden Guest. And then when they're in London and they want to go to some fancy restaurant, but it's last minute.
Yeah.
She doesn't give Jamie Lee Curtis as the name. She gives
rips out
her lady
title.
name, and then that gets way more pull than her actual name.
That's awesome.
Which I think is delightful.
That is delightful. That's so cool.
I like that.
I want to be a lady.
I want to be a lady too. I'm just way too trashy, so it won't happen.
I read that Jamie Lee Curtis wasn't John Carpenter's first choice because she was unknown. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, if you had gotten a known actress, how would you have paid her?
Well, exactly.
Because I think she only got like $8,000 for the role.
Yeah, it was not
but
much.
then he learned that she was Janet Leigh's daughter. Mm-hmm. He was like, "Yes, let's do this thing."
Yeah, well, because she was in Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
And,
her mother.
Yeah, her mother. Sorry, and then her dad. Because Tony Curtis was in. He wasn't in Psycho, but the boyfriend in Psycho is named after his actual name, not a stage name, I think.
Oh.
I mean, don't quote me on this shit, guys,
I'm gonna.
But I read a bunch of crap, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Quote this to everybody.
I only know Tony Curtis. Like, I know who he is because he's an old movie star, but really from the Flintstones, because he had a cameo in one, or he was in a Flintstones episode, but he wasn't Tony Curtis. He was Stony Curtis. And he's like, well, I remember that one the most.
I didn't know that. No, I knew who her mother was. Yeah.
Stony Curtis. Ah! And they all like lose their shit. He was really cute.
Oh man,
I liked that episode. It was good.
I have some facts about Deborah Hill.
Yes, please.
Who is the female screenwriter / producer for this movie, I think. Yeah. Because she wrote most of the female characters' dialogue. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, she did all the dialogue and he did all the other shit. Yeah,
all the other shit. And she also worked with John Carpenter on Halloween 2 and like a lot of other films.
I think they were both writers on most of these films,
right?
If not all. Well, not all, but most.
Yeah, I think she worked on some of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She formed a production company with her friend Linda Obst. OBST. How do you say that name?
Oops.
Oops.
It's definitely not that.
Huh?
She's a troll.
And they produced Adventures in Babysitting, which I also think we should watch.
Okay, yes, great. That's on the list because that movie is fantastic.
Let's do it. And Heartbreak Hotel, and she also produced my favorite movie of all time, Clue. She was honored in 2003, 2 years before her death. And she recalled the transition from being called Sweetheart and Darling to Ma'am once she was like a producer.
Oh.
So in her early years, she wasn't getting a ton of respect from men and being talked down to a lot. Friends and colleagues later commented that Hill became frustrated with the film industry and that the industry didn't welcome more women as directors, which like time and time again is what we've read in our research in this podcast. People credit her with giving Halloween its feminist roots, and John Carpenter wanted to make a slasher babysitter movie, but she kind of gave it a more feminist voice, I think. And I don't think we necessarily see that in this film, but in reading what like the most recent ones are about and kind of where it goes, I think it definitely does head in that direction eventually. So even though I didn't love this movie and I didn't think this movie was at all any sort of feminist anything, I think it definitely laid the groundwork for that to happen later.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome, and might be worth watching some of the newer ones for sure, just to see and compare.
I bet you the newer ones are we might actually find.
Well, because I think
scary.
the newest one, or maybe the last one that came out, was about like her and her daughter and her granddaughter.
Yeah,
right?
I did read about that.
Yeah, so
her
that's
daughter is
kinda
Judy Greer.
dope. Yeah,
I love Judy Greer.
Greer's
She's one of my
great.
favorite actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
What other franchise does that?
Yeah.
With the heroine still being there 40 years later.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's quite interesting. And what I did, like, I read a little bit, when I was reading up about Jamie Lee Curtis. I was looking at some of her quotes and things, and one was about the newest movie, what that came out last year. And she was one was that she was hooked on it, where when she started reading the script, she was down because it starts with like the granddaughter, I think, going up to get something out of her closet, but it's that same closet.
Ooh.
At least in the script, like they had it as it goes right back to start with that. But all three of them, Lori, the character, over the next 40 years or whatever, learned some like self-defense moves and like physically.
And she's looking for him, right?
And
cool.
but then also the daughter and the granddaughter aren't meek little nothings either. They're also fierce gals, which is cool.
Paired them.
Which is neat.
Really
well,
neat.
like I like that she wasn't like. I know they called like Jamie Lee Curtis like the Scream Queen, and she didn't scream a whole lot. I was expecting a lot more screeching and whatnot, and just this terrified girl. And she was a terrified girl, but she was moving and running and looking after the kids, and she seemed quite clear and like she had her wits about her, which I appreciated.
Kind of like an alien, right?
Yeah.
The woman had to step up and take care of business.
Yeah.
Because who else is going to do it if not her?
Oh, I read a fun fact.
Yeah.
I forgot. Apparently at a Comic-Con some years ago, I don't think a lot of years ago, but within the last 5 to 10 or something, she was at a panel for Halloween or something, and someone in the audience said when he was younger, someone like broke into the house and like there was an intruder and he was going after stuff, but he was terrified, and then he was just like, he said he remembers like being in a closet or whatever hiding, and then thought, what would Jamie Lee Curtis do? And then it just gave him so much courage, and he managed to get out and get away and survive.
God.
And he told her that story at the Comic-Con, and she just was like almost in tears, and so, like brought him up and gave him a big hug, and it was really nice. And I'm like, that's amazing.
It's crazy.
And I also like that this awesome female empowered a guy in a scary situation very similar, and it gave him strength. I like that, because you don't usually hear about that. It's usually, if it's a woman giving courage, or like roundabout giving courage, it's usually another woman, but it was a guy that had it, and I liked that. Because female empowerment and feminism isn't just about women, it's about equality for everybody, and I like those stories.
Yeah, benefits everyone.
Benefits everyone.
And I think I just realized right now that the reason I'm so drawn to like horror movies and sci-fi movies, especially those that do star women, are because that's when you get to see like a woman being a badass. Otherwise you don't really get to see that.
No.
I mean, a little bit more recently, sure, but especially when we were growing up, not something that you ever saw.
Yeah.
Certainly never starring a woman being a hero. So I love seeing that. It's like my favorite movie to watch.
Yeah.
Which is why I loved Alien so much. I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, man, that was a good movie.
It was really good. Yeah, Alien was really good. Like, I liked this movie not because the movie was itself good, because it wasn't, but I think artistically I enjoyed this movie more than I actually liked the movie itself, I guess. Because you can see where we get things that we do now from this. Like you said, how Scream definitely draws from this, and it's neat to see origins of things. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what I like about this so much.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Yeah, I don't really have much.
Can I ask you the questions?
All right.
Ask you and Joel.
It's up in the front of the book. Let me find it for you.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, I don't have so many lists.
Wait, oh, did you like it? Oh, you already answered.
Joel's not paying attention. We did like it, yes.
Yeah.
For various reasons.
Who would you recommend it to?
Anyone that likes scary movies, it is Spooky Halloween. Happy Spooky Halloween!
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, just at least see this one.
Yeah, It's fun.
I'm sure we're like the only ones that haven't seen it.
Probably. Again, like Alien. Everyone's seen this but
Although
us.
maybe not. I don't know. Maybe nobody's...
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, anyone that likes a
interested.
good horror movie. What? I don't know. Yeah, anybody.
Anybody.
Check it out. It's Halloween. Watch a freaking Halloween movie. It's the first movie that's called Halloween.
And it's got the song.
It's got this song. Things.
Yeah.
I kept seeing this like fact note everywhere that he used a 5/4 time.
I think it was
sequence.
like a 10/8 time signature.
It was 5/4. No, for real, it was in the thing.
No,
I
I
read
believe
it.
you. I read something different is all.
As I read that, I didn't know what it meant, and you were
Because most music goes 4/4 time.
Yeah, there's a time
1,
signature
2, 3,
is
4,
telling
2,
you like
2,
the timing
3,
of
4.
each bar of music essentially, and it was a very unusual time signature that he used.
Yeah, here, this one. The Halloween theme is written in the rare 5/4 time signature. John Carpenter learned this rhythm from his father. I just didn't really understand that.
Is that because there's 5 beats
I don't know, you guys are
per
the musical
bar?
people.
Is that what it is? There'd be 5 instead of 4?
The bar is 4 beats, I think,
Yeah.
but they're fitting 5 notes in there. Yeah, so it gives it kind of like an off balance sort of sound. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but yeah, John Carpenter composed all the music, which is cool, with the help of like an actual composer.
Yeah. We had there was a producer, she saw this before it was finished, before all the music was added in. And she's like, yeah, okay, like it's like, whatever, it's not that scary. And then she watched it in the theater with the music added, and she's like, okay, yep, this is where it's scary. It's the music that's scary.
He
It's that
uses
suspense.
the music really, really well, I think. Like, the times it kind of inserts it, I think was really cool. It was
Well,
like,
then you know things are happening, and well, that's like Psycho. Like that's where it comes from. It's not nonsense scaring and extra gore and shit. You're building that suspense with just the music. It's like, yeah, the score is such an important part of movies.
Time signature of 10/8 is what it says in this article.
Oh, I 100%. I didn't understand what it means either way. I just had the one thing, and I saw that a couple times. Sorry.
Yeah, what mood should you be in to watch it?
Spooky mood?
Spooks.
Halloween mood? Yeah, definitely. This is a nighttime movie for surezies.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because it's a really darkly filmed show. So watching in the daytime, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
It's like trying
I
to
hate
watch...
that so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this one, they had no budget and couldn't afford lighting. Last season of Game of Thrones, I don't know what the fuck your problem is. It's like trying to watch Game of Thrones in the daytime. You can't do it.
That's so frustrating to me.
It really is. Like, they had the budget for better lighting. These guys had no money.
Yeah,
So this makes sense. Like, fair enough.
All their money went to what's his name?
Pleasance.
Donald.
Pleasance.
Calling everybody John.
I know.
Vanessa Curmudgeon all over again.
Oh, Vanessa Curmudgeon. Poor Vanessa Curmudgeon.
Hey, what would you guys rate this movie?
Ooh.
One pinned up bob to a closet out of 1.
That's a good
That's
one.
a perfect score.
Right?
That's a full stab Bob.
Do you have one?
No, I don't have to think.
Okay,
Do you have
I'll
one?
do one you think.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it 4 painted leaves out of 4 beers.
Now those regular full beers or 4 beer cans falling out of a truck
4
as
beer
you get
cans
out? As you
on
get
the
out.
bedroom floor.
The bedroom
Those
floor.
after sex beers?
Yeah.
Or before sex beers.
During sex beers. Because they needed to drink it to stand looking at each other.
Yeah. Also, yeah, that the moaning from her was just too fucking much.
Yeah.
And then they're finished, and like he's crawled off her, and she's just like, oh,
That sex was
that was
so
so good.
You dicked me down real good.
Yeah, you done dicked me good.
Yeah. They were like, what? How old?
Like 17
Ew.
at best. They don't fucking know how to.
No, thank you.
They don't know how to have a good dick. You just stick it in and move it around, and that's it. That doesn't do anything.
You don't know any better, though, I guess.
You don't. You gotta pretend. Fake it till you make it, I guess. Or die.
Oh my god.
Okay, I will rate this 2 cigarettes being lit at the same time after sex out of 1 stupid child who won't turn off the TV and answer the damn phone.
Lindsay!
It's like, Lindsay, it's right beside you. Just reach your arm over and pick it up.
I also like that you rated it 2 out of 1.
Do what I want.
Absolutely.
Not everything makes sense.
None of it makes sense.
How dare you?
Oh, happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, guys. Stay safe. Lock your fucking doors.
Make sure that he's dead.
Yeah, always double tap it.
Don't put your back to him.
No, for fuck's sake. If you're gonna have a serial killer after you, kill him good again, and then in the head, and then run away.
Yeah, get out of there. You don't need to stick around.
No, you
There's
need to
no
have
reason.
an existential moment breathing on the side of the door frame. It gives him enough time to sit up and waltz over to you all slow like. He not dead. They're never dead. We all know
Never
this.
dead.
Great night, guys. See you later.
Goodbye.
It looked like blood on her hands at the end.